It's over. A year-long ordeal has come to an end as the CDU finally picks a new leader in the comforting shape of Armin Laschet of North Rhine-Westphalia. We can all rest. And yet even that could not dent the self-confidence of second-time loser Friedrich Merz. The Andes Pact lives on. Cheers.
Hello everybody, it's time for another episode of Megan's Megacan. I'm Megan and I'm here with Conrad Werner.
Hello.
You were waiting for me to interrupt your hello.
I thought you were going to say something else. But you didn't.
No, just
okay.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Still not dead.
Still not dead, still not
choking to death in a bed. So,
is that what dying of coronavirus is? God, we've started dark. We haven't even got to the news yet.
I thought it would. That's what I imagined it. I don't know.
Yeah, I also don't have coronavirus. I'm not seeing very many people though, which is good.
Neither am I. You're the first person I've seen all week.
I've seen some people this weekend, but I hadn't seen anybody from Sunday to Friday. And then I had to go in on yesterday to school for the first time in a month and invigilate an exam. It was nice to see actual real life children.
Human children.
Human children, freezing cold in the snow. There was snow coming into their French exam as I was lifting.
Oh yeah. Do you know why there's snow? Do you know what's happening?
No.
The polar vortex has split up.
What?
It's shifted.
Is this bad?
Well, it's basically we're getting the North Pole weather is moving south.
Forever?
No,
is this just climate change?
It's sort of it's just weird climate stuff happening. Yeah, the polar vortex has split, and it's moved down into northern Russia. So northern Russia's really, really cold now, and that's why we're getting the back end of that. That's why it's gone really cold. Apparently, I read it in the Washington Post.
Good Lord. Well, that must be true. That I don't have the brain capacity to deal with that right now. I'm very hungover, which reminds me, we should have a drink.
Yes. Okay.
I genuinely, I haven't washed these, but they've just been in my fridge, so I think anything on them will be dead. That's science. I just got our favourites because I opened my fridge today and they were just there. I've no recollection of buying these.
Well, that's often the way.
So yeah, I've got a Gordon's gin and tonic and a Jack and Ginger.
I'll have a Jack and Ginger, please.
Good stuff, because I really cannot stomach anything other than a gin and tonic right now. Oh my Lord.
That's the medicinal.
You're actually cleaning yours. I'm sort of cleaning.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh God, so weak.
So.
Oh my God, that was delicious.
I have called you here today on the M41 bus.
The M41.
The Corona Express.
The Corona Express, everyone's favourite bus. I don't know if people saw you sent it to me and somebody else sent it to me, the picture of the man kind of on top of the Corona bus in the tunnel.
Riding the bus through the Tiergarten tunnel.
Which we're fairly sure is the M41. I don't think it could be any other bus.
Yeah, it does go through that tunnel.
It's also mental. It was. I got on it today and I was like, what is that noise? The bus driver was just blasting Elvis's Jailhouse Rock.
Was he?
Yeah, it was great. I don't think there's anyone on the roof, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Anyway, so I have called you here today, a special show, because we have finally gotten to the end of the CDU leadership race.
Finally. It's only taken us 10 months. This has been going on longer than coronavirus.
It has. I mean, it's mad. It's because, we knew that RKK was going to give up something in last February, March.
I think it was earlier than that. I think it was...
this was in our quiz, wasn't it?
It was in January, I think, because we wouldn't even have had time to cover it after that.
After delaying it a couple of times, they finally had the vote today on a digital party conference.
Yes.
So they put them all in a big empty hall, the three candidates, and they all had to give a speech.
A clip of them on TV, and they looked very awkward.
And Paul Ziemiak, the he used to be the Younger Union leader, and now he's the general secretary or something. I can't remember. He was the compere of the show.
The MC.
He was the MC, and they all did a 15-minute speech, and then they had a vote amongst the 1,000 delegates. Mm-hmm. And after the first vote, Norbert Röttgen was voted out of the Big Brother house.
We would have liked him, wouldn't we? I mean, not as an actual best of a bad bunch.
He was the one that everyone thought would like modernise the CDU.
I'm not sure that can be done.
That was his pitch anyway.
Continue.
And then the second round of votes, which was then between Armin Laschet and Friedrich Merz, who I thought was going to win it, Friedrich Merz.
I really feel like the universe has done me a solid.
Armin Laschet won.
He did, yeah. Are we happy about this? He looks very funny. I don't think I've got him mixed up in my head with somebody else. Because then I saw pictures of him today and I was like, that's not who I thought it was.
Who did you think it was?
I don't know. I think he looked different.
He has a sort of teddy bear aura.
Yes.
He's sort
Which
of
is disconcerting in a conservative politician because it makes me very distrustful.
So he was like kind of the compromise candidate in a way. If the CDU membership had got to vote, if it had been like amongst all the CDU members, I think Friedrich Merz would have won.
Well, thank fuck.
What they call the Basis, as the Germans say. I think he would, and I think that would have been like, he was like considered like the most right wing one, and he gave a very, but he realised that the delegates, who aren't really just normal people, they are like little politicians. They're like commune level politicians.
Yeah.
And they're not just normal voters. I think if it had been like in America, anyone who's a registered Democrat or a registered Republican can vote for the primaries and whatever, and then vote. That's how someone like Trump gets in, because it's that
because everyone is just signed up and mental.
I think if Trump had won the last election, I think Merz would have had a much better chance, because then the CDU would have been like, oh, maybe that kind of thing does work, and Merz is a bit, he's not afraid to be kind of a bit populist.
A fascist.
A fascist.
Not afraid to have a little dance with fascism. Great, yeah, by all means, we should try that again. That's going brilliantly.
So but none of that worked. None of that happened.
Good.
And as was expected, then once when the first vote was so close, it seemed obvious that the gun voters would go for Armin Laschet, and so he's won. And Armin Laschet is now they're saying like he was kind of the Merkel ally, which I suppose he is, but.
So who is he? What do we know about him? What does he stand for?
He's the state premier of North Rhine-Westphalia.
Yeah, and this is making me a little nervous because the main thing I know about him was he was really wanting to come out of first lockdown.
Yeah.
And get back to normal, which is now what we're dealing with. The fucking fallout of that disastrous thing where we all pretended like it didn't exist in Germany for like 4 months in the summer.
But what we should make clear is that just because he's been elected leader of the CDU does not mean he's going to be the chancellor candidate for the CDU. Which
is crazy. That seems to be a very German thing. Do other places do that?
Well, in America, the candidate is always someone not necessarily not a part of the party leadership. It's a separate responsibility.
Yeah.
And so, because Merkel always said, oh, whoever's, they should be unified. Whoever's the leader of the party should also stand in the thing, and that's like in the elections. But these are different times, and it's going to take a couple more months for them to decide who's going to be the chancellor candidate for the CDU-CSU.
Never have I had to wait so long for something that is going to completely underwhelm me. It's either going to underwhelm me or enrage me.
Yeah.
Who do you think our chancellor candidate is going to be?
Well, the SPD has already decided who they want.
Schulz.
Yeah, Schulz. Yeah, the finance minister.
Schulz.
Finance
What's his first name? Wolfgang?
Olaf.
Olaf. Close enough.
And
sorry, Olaf.
The Greens have got a choice they still haven't decided, between Annalena Baerbock and Robert Habeck.
Will not go into my head. They will not go in, they will not stick.
But it's pretty significant that the Greens have even said they're going to have a chancellor candidate, because normally the smaller parties don't bother because they know they're not going to be chancellor. But the Greens, because they're doing quite well, have already said they're going to have a chancellor candidate.
I was getting all excited there. I was like, oh, I wonder who I'll vote for. And then I remembered.
And
no one.
With the CDU, it'll be another three-way male race.
Hey! All white? All male?
Well, all white anyway. It's the CDU.
Yeah.
And between, Armin Laschet, Jens Spahn, the health minister, you might have noticed hanging around, and our friend Markus Söder of Bavaria.
I knew you were going to say that. No, thank you.
And in all the popularity polls of all the different CDU politicians that there are, CSU, CDU politicians, Söder is the most popular of all of them now. And I think he would probably be the best candidate. I mean, he's the one who's most likely to win.
Yeah, that doesn't make him the best candidate. I don't want to live in Söder's Germany. He's like a fundamental Christian, isn't he?
I don't know if he's a fundamentalist Christian.
Yeah, someone described him as that to me the other day, and I didn't do any, reading up. But I think maybe they don't have the same understanding of the intricacies of religion to me.
He did once bring in a policy of having a crucifix in every Bavarian government building, which would include schools. Which
is not supposed to happen because of Meinungsfreiheit, which is why it's illegal for you to wear a hijab, but you can't have a hijab and be a teacher in this country. Yeah. Which makes me want to projectile vomit onto the Reichstag. Maybe I should.
But I don't think personally he really cares. He's not like Mike Pence.
No, none of them do. But apart from Mike Pence, he's like an actual zealot.
We should talk about Merz a little bit, because it is quite funny what he did.
He's lost again. I'm delighted with this, because he just keeps trying, and he's just not getting it. And now he's too old, surely.
I mean, he really, really believes in himself quite strongly.
Yes.
Friedrich Merz. He has a lot of self-confidence. He does not lack for self-confidence.
No, but he's incredibly wealthy and white. Yeah.
And a lobbyist for BlackRock, which is the biggest, one of the biggest investment companies in the world.
Yeah, and also bad. They're bad lads, aren't they?
Yeah, well, if you've got that much money, you've done something bad. I mean, they administer like $1 trillion every year or something. It's something ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like someone was asking me about my house for about Achilles the other day, and they were like, are they? I was like, they're not active criminals, but only because I don't make the rules. It would be against the law if I got to decide what they do.
But you know what Merz said after he failed, after he lost? He said, it doesn't matter. Why don't he went up to Armin Laschet and he suggested that he be made economy minister, and he said, can I be economy minister? And Armin Laschet said, well, I don't even know if I'm going to be the chancellor candidate, and we'll have to see.
This is super awkward, dude.
And then he said, oh, no, you don't understand. I don't mean under your government, I mean under Merkel's government. He said, can you get me to be economy minister now? I think it's really funny that he just said, I have proposed myself to take on the role of economy minister.
We have one of those. It's Olaf Scholz, isn't it?
He's the finance minister.
Oh, he's finance. Oh, yes, this is the one we come down to me not understanding the difference between finance and economy.
The economy
Olaf
minister.
Scholz has all the money, and then the economic-y person is the person in charge of the other stuff. I'm feeling very strange with that massive hangover and a third of a gin Megacan. I'm just like...
Anyway, yeah.
Economy?
and
that's hilarious. Apparently, I was reading a little bit on Twitter. Apparently, his speech, he didn't mention Merkel or AKK once in his whole 15 minutes.
He did. He gave quite a defensive speech. But I just want to finish this other thing.
Yes, sorry.
Because then... Within half an hour, Merkel's spokesman, Steffen Seibert, put out a tweet saying the Chancellor is not planning a cabinet reshuffle at this stage. So he just said, no, we're not going to do that.
No,
thank you.
I would really have loved to see Merkel's reaction to this, because she and Merz, hasn't he kind of been going after her for a while? Because he was in that stupid thing that's the funniest thing I've ever heard of,
the Andes Pact.
Oh god, I love those lads and hate everything they stand for at the same time. Let me try and remember what this was. White boys, when will you learn? So they're years ago in the 50s.
Like 70s.
70s, yes. 70s, there's these, obviously it'll be the 70s. He's not that old. Young CDU people or some kind of conservative lads somehow end up in a plane going over the Andes, which is maybe a little bit hairy at the time, and they make a pact fueled on whiskey that they are all going to help each other dominate the political landscape of Deutschland. And they put in these weird caveats like nobody can run, they can't run against each other.
Yeah.
It's failing to understand sort of the nature of the beast of politics.
Yeah.
Hilarious stuff. Was he in the plane or did he join them later?
Well, I don't know. I can't remember now.
Let's say he's in the plane.
Let's say he's in the plane.
He's in the plane. And meanwhile...
He is quite old. He's 65.
Yeah.
He's the oldest of the...
You tell me that now. Look at Biden and Trump. I'm like, 65? That's good. I was literally like, oh, well, that's good. fucking retirement age. You want to take on the top job. And meanwhile, Merkel has just been like in her unglamorous, not needing planes and whiskies and pacts with like loads of rich guys. She's just like, how about I just do my job and do it quite well? And that's just like, but how about you make me economy minister for the economy? Yeah. She's like, no. Also, no.
Anyway, yeah.
Oh, I'm really pleased about that. It's really made me happy, but I'm very worried about living in Söder's Germany.
The thing is about Merz is that he was really trying to kind of tone down his image because he thinks the reason why he lost against RKK was because he came on too strong and too Trumpish. So in his speech today, he was a bit more on the defensive, and he was like saying, "I'm not like what you think I am," because everyone knows about how he was one of the.
You can't un-fascist yourself, really. Like,
and he just had that really like quite sexist views, and he has a reputation for this.
Oh yeah, he's foul.
Oh yeah, because he's famously one of the Bundestagsabgeordnete, this is in the 90s, who voted against making rape illegal in marriage.
Oh God.
Is that the right way around? Yeah.
Oh.
And he was against same-sex marriage and everything. And so he kind of tried to clean up this image in his speech today, and he said, like, I am not against women at all. If I was, my wife would not have married me 40 years ago.
That old defense, like the one that horrible man who was verbally abusive to his colleague AOC was like, I am a father of, I am a wife, I have a wife and I have daughters. I'm like, yeah, and you're still a cunt.
Yeah.
Like, you're probably horrible to them.
The old, I know some women defense.
Yes. Oh, God. Oh, I'm so glad he didn't win. Can he just like go and retire and have all of his horrible BlackRock money and just leave us alone?
Well, he probably will now.
Now that he's not being made Minister for the Economy.
Laschet. Should we talk about Laschet a little bit more?
Yeah, because I know nothing about him. Apart from he looks entirely different to what I thought he was in my head. And I'm a bit worried about his like, let's get out of lockdown.
He has a very bad reputation amongst climate activists because North Rhine-Westphalia is like one of the big coal mining areas of Germany. He felt always obliged to protect the coal mining industry in his region, and that's where also the region where the whole issue with the forest,
where the Hambacher Forest.
Yeah, so.
He's the lad trying to kill the primordial trees.
Yeah, he's like the one who's...
Oh, great. Glad we've got him in. Fucking brilliant. And we couldn't have Rüttgen? Is that how he was going to, like, modernise it? Be like, we're killing everything. Everything's on fire. Maybe don't cut down the trees for coal. That could have been nice.
He would have been... Rüttgen would have been the candidate who... is most likely to have had an alliance with the Green Party, which could actually happen anyway. The next election, the way the polls are looking now, it's very likely that we're going to have what they call a black-green coalition government.
Schwarz-Grün. I love all their names, their different names for the coalitions. It's really fun.
The Jamaica coalition. If the FDP joined in, then it would be the...
FDP, no. Absolute. I am not having any more of the FDP's nonsense. Did you see what those clowns, one of them came out with this week?
Go on.
Get back to school, even for the smallest grades. So from the smallest classes, they would say if we tested teachers and pupils twice a week, which first of all, no one has the capacity for that. Second of all, you want to bring a child in and stick something down their throat and or up their nose twice a week. Who's administering these? And the teachers, they had a funny word like the Lehrer, like a word that looked like pulpit that I've now forgotten.
Pult?
Yes.
Lehrerpult.
You could have a plexiglass screen around it.
Yeah, they're saying a lot of things like that now.
But are they joking?
They just... the FDP don't know what they're supposed to say. They
don't
they've
understand they've lost their humanity in that they don't seem to understand what human children are. You can't stick things into them twice a week and then teach them from behind a screen because they're gonna fucking leave. And you're gonna have to chase them because school will be horrible.
Yeah.
Because they can't hug their teacher.
They're useless. It's a useless party.
They are. Like, I couldn't. What's the point of them? But they're not seriously gonna.
Well, they had the chance last time. There was a big chance for a Jamaica coalition last time, and Christian Lindner turned it down because he said he only if someone else is chancellor and not Merkel. Everyone now is looking back on that, saying that was a really bad move, Lindner. You could have been in government and actually had responsibility. Now he just flounced out of negotiations on that issue.
Flouncer. They're just.
They do flounce a lot.
They're just an absolute disaster.
So, yeah.
What is the point of them? Anyway, I'm quite drunk now. This is delicious.
Yeah, it's good. So that leaves us with Armin Laschet as a sort of compromise. He will also, one way or another, I think it's very likely that he will also have to negotiate with the Green Party after the next election, either as just as a party leader or as the chancellor candidate.
It's going to be very interesting this year. Super election year here in Germany.
Yeah, there are 2 more regional elections before the general election, which are going to. You shouldn't ask me that.
Sorry,
I had it in my head.
I'm so sorry.
I think it's Rhineland-Palatinate and Baden-Württemberg, but I have
Rhineland-Palatinate.
Yeah.
What one's that? What's that in actual German? In actual language that humans use? Not North
Rheinland-Pfalz. Rheinland-Pfalz.
Rheinland-Pfalz, which is not one of the Bundesländer I've been to. God, I had all that time where I could go, and now I've done nothing with it. I'm sorry.
Oh. There's actually 6 regional elections this year in 2021, including Rheinland-Pfalz and Baden-Württemberg, the 2 that I said, and also Thüringen, Sachsen-Anhalt, and Mecklenburg-Vorpommern.
I thought Thüringen just had Berlin. It. I thought that was the whole scandal with Kemmerich.
That was last year. Yeah.
So
they might have to do another one.
Okay. Well, and did you say Brandenburg?
No, Berlin.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're going to elect a new. So
what does that mean? We get a new.
You get to elect a new mayor if.
I don't. You do.
I do. Yeah.
I can elect the mayor. I think of like Neukölln.
But that's not to be sniffed at.
It's not to be sniffed at. I don't think I'm going to be going.
You can do. It's not. I mean.
I know. I really researched it last time. I read a lot of manifesti.
Manifestis.
Manifestis.
That's if they're Italian.
It's very cool. This new. And then when is the actual general election?
September.
Jesus, who knows what the world's going to look like by then?
Right. Yeah, so the next few elections are going to be basically a big test for Armin Laschet to see if he's got what it takes to lead the country or lead his party into the election. So that's what we've got to look forward to. So now you're all caught up.
Am I? That's
pretty
good.
Much.
How's your mega?
Good, yeah. We've got other news, though. We've got.
Do we?
Well,
that's good.
because we were talking about Markus Söder, I should mention that Markus Söder came out in favour of compulsory FFP2 masks or N95 masks, which I only just learnt today are interchangeable. It's just the same. It's just different countries use different words. Yeah, they're just the same.
N95, yeah. I've got some. I bought some in DM the other day, and then from one day to the next, I think because people have been looking at what Söder has said in Bayern and been buying them. I mean, great, yeah, if you want, like, people be wearing, like, the top thing masks, but how's it going to happen, Söder? Because DM is sold out. It's done. And it was also €6 for 2, and you're not supposed to really reuse them. And that's not very sustainable for everybody. And
we also heard this week that they shipped them into a school but then they were the wrong ones.
Oh, yes. So Mareike, our lovely friend and former guest, just texted me in an absolute rage to say that she's discovered that the masks that were given out as a sort of Christmas present to state school teachers in Berlin didn't actually have the correct, they have to have a certain certification to be considered like proper FFP2. Like when I bought mine the other day, they've got like a little EU like stamp and everything.
Yeah.
And they aren't the ones that they were given. So she thinks there was like a dodgy order or someone fucked up the ordering, and then they've just been like, we'll give them out to teachers.
They'll be fine.
They'll be fine. It's so like, what?
Yeah.
So good idea. But again, how are we going to...
Well, apparently...
Sorry.
The states, I'm just reading this now, the state authorities were checking the various, there are like 150 types of FFP2 masks or different makes, and 98 of the 150 failed the test.
Yeah, so they're going to give those ones to the teachers. That's good.
Oh, different one. So, like, one FFP2 mask not the same as another FFP2 mask.
No, this is the thing. It needs to be the...
2 out of 3
I was talking to my German tutor who lives in Nuremberg, and he was saying he'd spent hours trying to get someone like Amazon that have the actual certification.
Oh, yeah. I don't know
So,
this.
good plan, Marcus, but I think we're back to the old drawing board on that, unless you manage to have just a huge supply of them somewhere.
In other coronavirus news...
Oh, great. Is it good news?
No.
Oh.
Do you want me to say it? Or shall I not bother?
No, you can say it.
The
It's fine. I'm sort of numbed now from alcohol and hangover and general malaise.
So there are like these 2 official centres where they are vaccinating people in Berlin.
And they're running at a high level of efficiency.
Well, they have a capacity of 1,200 a day, and they are managing about 120 a day at the moment because there aren't enough of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccines to go round, because Pfizer-BioNTech aren't making them fast enough. And Pfizer-BioNTech said this week that they're going to have to stop making them for a little bit because they have to build a bigger factory. That's what's happening on the vaccine front.
Oh, God. It's like the one thing that I've got, and everyone is upset. We don't know what's happening with the new, I saw some colleagues sort of face to face yesterday for the first time when I went in for this exam. And we're really happy that we're not having to go into school because, every day, 5 days a week and with more kids because it's dangerous. But it's also we want to get back to normal, and everyone's like, it's never going to happen. And with this new strain and everything, I don't know what to do. And I've been like, the vaccine, it's fine. We're going to be vaccinated. It's going to be fine. I really, really, really need that vaccine.
Yeah.
Conrad.
Good news is
Yay.
that a second vaccine has been approved in
Yes.
Europe, the Moderna vaccine. So hopefully they will start speeding up a little bit. We've already reached 1% of the German population,
That's
by the
not
way.
bad. I'll take that.
Out of so we've had just over 800,000 people have been vaccinated in Germany.
Bit more. Come on.
So that's better than France. France being really slow.
France is not handling this great.
No.
My weird crush on what's his face that will not go away. I don't know what that man is going to have to do.
Emmanuel Macron.
Oh, Macron.
Yeah.
I think I've got away with it, and then I'll accidentally I'll see a picture of him, and I'll be like, ooh. I'm like, no.
It'll be ooh la la.
Damn you.
C'est formidable.
C'est formidable. He's really not formidable. He's terrible. Terrible. To use the phrase.
Il est terrible.
Il est un connard, which is the worst French word that I know.
Yeah. Well, they're going really slow. Now they're in France, they're having a curfew of from 6 p.m. until 6 a.m. or something. I can't. That's not a fact. I just read it somewhere. They have got a really strict curfew somewhere in France.
That's madness.
That is all the news.
That's all of it. We didn't even talk about Nazis today, so that's a plus. I'm taking it as a plus, unless you can't Friedrich Merz. Oh, it's very funny, these little jokes that we have. What's Seehofer up to these days?
He's waiting for the end of the year so he can go home.
In his empty office with his little silver balls. Ding, ding, ding. His little Zen,
Clicking.
tabletop Zen garden.
Watching the clock ticking quietly on the wall.
Yeah, wow. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
that's it
Good.
for this week's show.
Yeah, if you're hungover, I highly recommend going out and getting a delicious Gordon's and tonic. It says perfectly mixed with tonic, and I would agree. I feel a lot better now, and that's even after the news.
Yeah, so do I.
Good. Got wild plans for Saturday night. I'm dancing in a really creepy way. Making terrible eye contact with you. I hope you enjoy it.
No, I mean, there's nowhere to go. It's too cold outside. Anyway.
It's very cold outside. Yeah, I'm having Zoom drinks with my family.
Well, there you go. Are you going to do a quiz?
No, they're playing Dungeons and Dragons afterwards, but I'm not allowed to join that because they know that I will hate it and ruin everyone's fun.
Okay.
It's like all my siblings play Dungeons and Dragons, it's just not me. And they didn't tell me for ages.
Yeah.
And they were just like, you won't like it. And I was like, I know I won't.
Why don't you play a game that you like as well? Like, I don't know, Scrabble.
I don't really like games, is the
well.
problem. I like kind of Monopoly and stuff, but no, generally no. No to games. So I'll just watch a film or something afterwards.
Okay.
All right. Stay safe, everybody. Wash your hands. Wear your mask.
See if you can get an FFP2 if you can.
Yeah, and
From DM.
put it on eBay for hundreds. Don't do that. That's disgusting behaviour. Have a lovely day.
Bye.